Well, I'm here with Insurance Commissioner Tim Temple, and what a pleasure it is to have you here with us today. Thank you so much.
We're glad to have you at the department.
Thank you. All right, so you and I spoke about a year ago, a little over a year ago, when you first stepped in, and I'm so excited to have you here. And there were a lot of things going on with the state of insurance at that time. We were about 800,000 claims going on, and there was so much money being paid out in claims. Where are we now?
Yeah, when I became commissioner-elect in August 15th of 2023, we were and still are in a very deep insurance crisis. This is the deepest crisis that our state, our citizens have ever faced. For years we've had a crisis with auto insurance, whether it was your personal or commercial auto. It's steadily been more and more expensive over the years. And then starting in August of 2020 with Laura and then Delta and Zeta and Ida, those four hurricanes that we talked about that created 800,000 claims, $23 billion in paid losses, that added a severity issue with personal with personal homeowners insurance.
Sure.
And then commercial property insurance as well. And then on top of that, we've had flood insurance. Risk rating 2.0 is a dismal failure. I don't think anyone can say that it's working the way it's supposed to. And I know our congressional delegation has been fighting a very good, strong fight to change that. But flood insurance is now added to the insurance burden. So you add that burden. And right now, families and individuals' budgets are stretched to the point where they're breaking. Businesses are to the point now where insurance costs are so expensive that some companies are having to lay off employees.
So you came in 6 months prior to you officially taking office, and you hit the ground running.
I immediately began conversations with all the stakeholders to try to address this crisis that we just mentioned, because it is important that we, I wanted to make sure that I took, every day, advantage of every day that I had to start to work on solutions, so that when we came in office January 8th, and we started working in the building there in the background to bring these solutions that we were moving as fast as possible on that.
Now, I do see some of the fruit of your work thus far in some of the laws that you were helping to implement or you were pushing forward. And one of those is the Fortified Roof program. Talk to us about that.
My predecessor, I'll give him credit, he was the one that asked the legislature to create the program. They initially allocated $30 million last year during the last budgetary process. I think as of the most recent report, which is maybe a week old, we have over 1,500 fortified roofs in Louisiana now. We've just recently awarded another 1,000 applicants grants to put on another 1,000 roofs. So we're moving quickly on that. But it's not fast enough for me.
Right.
It's not fast enough for a lot of individuals, and it's not fast enough for the state as well. So we're going to continue to promote that program. Next session, I'm going to ask the legislature to consider some different ways to fund that program so that we don't have to go to the legislature and ask for the money every year.
Now, I know there's been some fear for people, with rising costs and the lack of competitiveness. And we saw in Florida that 37,000 claims were denied by one of Florida's largest insurance companies. And there's some thought that maybe because of the similarities with disasters here, that could possibly happen here. Do you foresee anything like that?
Well, one of the things I did when, I guess the second month I was in office, was I called a meeting with some of the top insurance property writers by premium volume. Called them all into the department. We met in the hearing room. I think it was the top 25. I'm very concerned and I'm very focused on making sure that our fellow citizens have the best claims experience they can have. That's what we want. We pay premiums and we expect the insurance company to come and in good faith start to adjust our claims. Last year, with the legislators' help, we cleaned up some laws that created some ambiguity, some conflicting statutes, if you will, that muddied the process. That was not good for the consumer, and it's not good for the insurance company. So we want to make sure that both parties, both sides, understand what the laws are. They understand what the rules of the game are, and the better clarity that both parties have, I think the better claims experience. So I'm working with industry to make sure that they do what they're supposed to do.
Also, I know there's a special session coming up and you have some things going on with that. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, the auto crisis is one that I think has been recently overshadowed because of the property crisis. Look, people, like I said, their budgets are getting stretched. to the point of breaking. But the auto crisis is one that has been overshadowed. Like I said, we addressed a lot of those issues with property during the last regular session. But since I took office, and since before then, when I became commissioner-elect, I've maintained that we need to have a special session to address the auto crisis in our state. Insurance is complex, and certainly legislators during a regular session get bombarded with thousands of bills. And legislators, they've got to almost be an expert on every bill that they vote on, because they're voting yes or no for something, and it has intended and sometimes unintended consequences. So the reason I think we need to have a special session on auto, because it's complex. There's a lot of powerful forces around all sides of that issue, and we need to make sure that we are as transparent as citizens deserve in uncovering why auto rates are as expensive as they are. And look, the legislature and the governor have done a phenomenal job of tackling some of the economic challenges that are economic hurdles that businesses face in Louisiana. They're doing tax reform. As far as individuals, they've addressed education reform. They've done criminal justice reform. These are all very worthy things and need to be done and need to continue to be focused on. But insurance has to be part of that equation too.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for all the work you've done so far and that you'll continue to do for us.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Enjoy it. And, like I said, you're welcome to the Department of Insurance. You're welcome anytime.